It's Saturday the 25th of January in the Vendée Globe, the skipper's 76th day at sea, and there have been a flurry of finishers in Les Sables. After we watched Jérémie Beyou come in the early hours of Friday morning, around midday we had Meilhat come in, and then followed by Nico Lunven, who came in on Friday evening, and now we've seen Thomas Ruyant come in early on Saturday morning. And today we're also expecting Justine Metro and Sam Goodchild, who looks set to come in 9th place after all those problems with his mainsail. We bring you the highlights of Jérémie Beyou and Meilhat's finish, and then also get a little clip from Nico Lunven while he was still at sea crossing a very difficult Bay of Biscay, and then a tired-looking Sam Goodchild, who was actually in no wind around the area as he got into the Bay of Biscay after Cape Finisterre. And then we hear from Boris Herrmann, who really was hoping to finish yesterday. That was his target time, but events have conspired against him. We then take a look at the tracker, the leaderboard and PredictWind routing options for Romain Attanasio, who's taken an option far further west than the leaders did in the North Atlantic. And so we'll see how he's doing in 14th. And then we conclude with a clip from Oliver Heer.
A warm embrace between two skippers who concluded their epic round-the-world race today. Jérémie Beyou was first across the finish line in the dark of night, exactly 1 week after third-placed Sébastien Simon.
Top! Bravo, Jérémie!
The Charal skipper has competed in 5 Vendée Globes, finishing 3 times. He savoured his bitterly fought 4th place. Some 4th places feel like a defeat. This one, though, is more of a victory. The harder it is, the deeper the satisfaction in what you've accomplished. I'm proud of this 4th place. A knee injury, a series of boat damage, a succession of complex weather systems with heavy weather to finish. Like his closest rivals, Jérémie Beyou has been spared nothing. I've been in Figaro mode almost since the Indian Ocean. Fowlies and Wellingtons on, stuff all over the place, one hand constantly on the sheet. You've got to be ready for that to achieve a good place in this race now. Meilhat, who ascended the channel half an hour later, was one of those rivals who battled on in adversity. He repaired major rigging damage and took several bold routing options to reach the finish on his 2nd Vendée Globe. What I've loved about this Vendée Globe compared with my last one is the fact that I've always been racing against other skippers. That was fantastic. A lot of problems, like everyone. We've certainly faced a lot of challenges. If we push hard to extend our limits, and we succeeded.
Quite so, but yeah. So tonight was quite difficult because I had a big front behind me and sometimes big gust at 40 knots. So I did some Chinese jibe and yeah, it was not easy. But this morning was more quiet. I know that I have time before the channel, so I focus about the back to think about the race and what I did, and I'm really proud about me and proud about the team because the boat is quite good shape. And now I'm just enjoying and just happy to see a human face because I didn't see a human face in 2-3 months, and particularly my friend, my family, the team, and yeah, I'm super happy. So thank you, and Vendée Globe is amazing.
Nico Lunven finished at 19:51 hours UTC on Friday evening, but sent us this update while he was crossing a difficult Bay of Biscay.
Hello, we are on Friday 24th of January, 120 miles to the finish line in Les Sables. After a crazy night at sea in the Bay of Biscay, with many jibes, very tough condition. Right now it's just a bit light for I don't know why, to be honest, but it's supposed to be 35 knots and I have 15. I think it's going to be back soon into the sky, so very tough condition for the finish. Very stressful. The sea state will be horrible in the last couple of hours. so you need to be careful up to the end, very concentrated to not make mistakes. Well, supposed to be in a few hours. And Paul Meilhat is going to arrive soon. And behind we have Thomas Ruyant, Justine Metro and Sam Goodchild. I hope they will stay behind, but the thing is that to go to Les Sables I have to do many jibes again. I did already, I don't know, 10, 12 jibes during the night because I am full VMG downwind. And behind, I think they have a different wind, so they probably will go straight, so much more quick for them. So I hope I will keep my 6th place. Finger crossed. See you soon.
Hello everyone, it's Sam on what should be our last sunset. If all goes to plan, just over 200 miles from the finish, and yeah, it's a little bit of a moment to appreciate the last sunset, the last time being on my own for a while. Looking forward to finding familiar faces, my family and everyone. And yeah, the last night that's not going to be easy because we've got 0 knots of wind now, not far off, and expecting 20 knots later and everything in between, so yeah, the wind might be coming already actually. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one, but it's what a Vendée Globe it's been. See you tomorrow.
Hi everyone, it's January 24th. This had been my my wish day of arrival, 75 days. It's not happening. Still have a few miles left. Actually, to be precise, I have 1,317 miles in this moment to the finish, which is not much, but it will take me about 4 days and a bit, probably 5. That depends on a few things we're going to talk about. It is the 76th day at sea, day 75 of the race, and it's actually a nice day. It's, I think, the first day since Cape Horn that I'm not sailing upwind. So it must be the longest time ever anyone has sailed upwind in recent history, maritime history. The whole South Atlantic, the whole North Atlantic, everything full upwind. I haven't had any other sail out than J2, J3. That's totally different than 4 years ago. And now I'm in a little nice high pressure zone. The sea is relatively mellow. The wind is a bit unstable, between 8 and 16 knots. That is very unstable, but with the 90-degree wind angle that I have, or 100 degrees, it's actually quite relaxed, and I'm really taking it easy today. I have a bit of sunshine. It is still warm. I just put a new t-shirt on for you as well for the video. Enjoying that. I will have my lunch soon, a bit late lunch on this Friday. And then in a couple of hours we have the new models coming out where we'll study our odds and chances of making it as we wish to the finish on the 28th, which is my ETA at the moment. The issue, as you know, is strong winds, strong waves. Winds alone wouldn't be the problem. It's obviously the waves. Waves offshore is also not a problem as such. I mean, if waves are 20 or 30 meters high but 300 meters long, it is not a problem. The problem occurs when the waves get short, and that happens always when either wind blows for a short period of time, then there's not much fetch. Fetch is the distance where a wave can develop. We have a bit of fetch in the system. It's one of the biggest storms of this winter, I guess, and it will probably cause trains to be late again in Germany. Not in France, though, of course. The problem here is that we are entering the Bay of Biscay, and there's a continental shelf, and that might cause, or most certainly will cause, the waves to shorten down, because the waves hit the bottom, the energy, basically. And that could lead to steep waves. So if the waves start to breaking waves, that becomes dangerous because we cannot control the direction of our boat anymore. So that remains to be studied. and hope for that this is not too much the case. Then we may make it safely over the finish line. Hopefully there's a strong wind finish line specific in this Vendée Globe. And if the wind and waves are too hard, we cannot enter Les Sables d'Olonne and we will divert to some other harbor. I was thinking of Lorient, for example. Let's see. So more updates tomorrow on this. I have good moods today because it's really nice to finally have wind from behind, breathe a bit, and also to know, okay, it's going to be exciting after tomorrow, but today and tomorrow I'm still in a kind of a little bit of a nice period here, can get ready, I get my storm job ready and all that. Okay, bye-bye, bon appetit.
Taking a look at the tracker, we can see that both Thomas Ruyant and Nico Lunven haven't yet been able to go into the channel at Les Sables d'Olonne despite finishing, and so it could well end up that 4 boats go into the channel at the same time, because we've got Justine Métraux just 50 nautical miles to the finish at 07:15 hours UTC, and also Sam Goodchild now just 80 nautical miles to go. So this group could all go in together, which could make for quite a spectacle. Benjamin Dutroux has managed to stay ahead of Clarisse Kramer as they approach Cape Finisterre and towards the Bay of Biscay, and Boris Herrmann is now ahead of Sam Davis. And if we take a look at Sam's course, we can see she's had to take a loop, so something has clearly gone on there, and I don't yet know what it is, but as soon as we do, we'll give you an update. The group from 14th onwards, led by Romain Attanasio, we can see taking a course far further to the west. So we're going to take a look at the PredictWind routing options for him. In this group, we have also got Benjamin Ferret, who's in 18th place. He's the leading daggerboard boat. And then we've also got Conrad Coleman, we can see there. He's in 21st place. And also Jean Le Cam in 22nd. Now, with this group going west, we've seen Jean Le Cam often take different routing options to others. Will he go east? Guilherme Saudet has now crossed the equator into the northern hemisphere, and next to go across should be Kujiro Shiraishi, and in amongst this group we've also got Violet d'Orange. Off the coast of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, we can see that we've got Antoine Koenig in 29th place, and then Oliver Heer in 30th, who we will hear from later, and also in 31st, Jinkun Zhu. On the leaderboard, we're going to take a look at those recent finishers. We can see Jérémie Beyou finished almost exactly a week after Seb Simon, so difference between 3rd and 4th place considerable, but then really tight for the group between 4th and 9th. Jérémie Beyou, straight after that, Paul Meilhat, who finished just on Friday morning at 10:40 UTC. And then Nico Lunven, who finished last night at 19:51 UTC, and then Thomas Ruyant, who finished this morning at 0449 UTC, and Justine Métraux and Sam Goodchild, who are expected today. SailWorld.com's New Zealand editor Richard Gladwell has done PredictWind routing options for Romain Attanasio in 14th place, and he's got some hard decisions ahead. The Azores exclusion zone means you either go west or east of this area, and if you go to the west you can really get hit by those North Atlantic storms, and there are some big ones coming down from west to east. And yes, it's faster, but those strong winds are boat-breaking conditions, and the Bay of Biscay does not look good on the 30th and 31st of January either.
Well, it's a beautiful morning out here in the South Atlantic. It's still very light wind. I went through a bit of a transition zone last night. But as forecasted, finally, it actually wasn't too bad. I waited for a big wind shift in a light breeze, and I tacked about an hour ago. And now I'm on starboard. I'm sailing upwind for the next 2 days up to Rio de Janeiro. The good thing about being on starboard is that I can use my keel again. So I've just reactivated my keel hydraulic system, which will help me a lot for the last couple of days. Really, since the Horn, I was only able to sail at about 85% because I didn't have a keel to cant, and now I've got the keel again, so that will help me a lot because it is all upwind and I'll need the keel. After that, it will be a couple of tacks offshore of Rio and then a long starboard up the Atlantic. So I am happy today. All is good on board. Wishing you all a great Friday, and I'll give you an update again tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today. We'll continue to bring you news from the Vendée Globe as well as many other events from the world of sailing, so please do subscribe to our channel using the button down here, and take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com for all the latest news in the world of sailing.